May peace be upon you, may peace be upon you, may peace be upon you. My name is General Zuri, and I bring you greetings and blessings from the original Black Panther Party, which is divinely, humbly, and with great purpose led by National Leader General Mike Payne. I have the beautiful honor of introducing to you the Speaker of the Hour. A Wisconsin native, this king was brought up with a fighting spirit, and I mean literally. His consistent desire to change the mentality of the people in the world that we know it to be it through music, acts of service, or a heartfelt conversation, his tenacity and willpower has lit the match that continues to illuminate this dark world. He is a father, a protector, a revolutionary leader, but most of all, what I know of General Mike Payne to be is a fighter. Please allow me to delve deeper. General Mike Payne continues to fight for the woman who was sexually assaulted and raped with a glass salt shaker, and after 20 years is still fighting for her justice for Pamela Smith. He has fought for the wellness of children at a nearby school which had reports of rats and asbestos. He has fought for the justice of the high school boy who was accused of raping a 60-year-old woman with no evidence, no DNA, and no court documents. His appearance was changed to fit the description of the actual perpetrator. Justice for Ricky Wright. General Mike Payne has fought for the young FedEx driver who while delivering packages was chased at in his vehicle, then shot at by two white supremacists, just to return to work the very next day to be given the same route after such a traumatic incident. Justice for DeMontario Gibson. He has fought for the little girl who was verbally abused by a white teacher at a nearby high school and told that she would be another statistic in this world, and he banged the ruler on the desk as he continued to berate her. He has fought for justice for the young man who, while on a jog in his suburban neighborhood, was chased on a 5-minute pursuit by three white supremacists, a young man who went for a run and ended up fatally running for his life. Justice for Ahmaud Arbery. He has fought for the justice of the 14-year-old boy who was taken away from his home by two white men who made him carry a 75-pound cotton gin to the bank of the Tallahatchie River. They beat him, gouged his eye out, shot him in the head. Then, with the barbed wire, they tied his body to the cotton gin fan and threw him into the river. Justice for Emmett Till. I pray that you all hear the heart of General Mike Payne as he brings forth a message that will resonate with your mind, your body, and your soul. May we all rise as we greet our Speaker of the Hour. It is with my greatest pleasure to present to some and introduce to others our local and the national leader of the original Black Panther Party, General Mike Payne.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm gonna switch first right here. There we go. Can everybody hear me? All right, first, good afternoon to my beautiful people here today. May peace and blessings be upon you all. I am, as she said, General Mike Payne, national leader of the original Black Panther Party. Just to give you guys a little, please sit down. Just to give you guys a little background. We are directly connected to the Black Panther Party for self-defense that was started by Dr. Huey P. Newton and Bobby Seale in 1966. We are connected by leadership and bloodline. And we take a lot of pride in that. Therefore, with that said, we are not a hate group. We do not hate anyone. We hate oppression. We fight against injustice, racism, and many things of that nature. Now, we always put original in our name now because we want you to know that we follow the same laws that were followed back in '66, and we are in connection with the same people as far as the New Era Young Lords the Brown Berets, even the White Panthers. And we work together when need be. Should be done. And I want to thank you, first of all, for even having me, having this organization, having us here. Nothing is possible without you all. And all those things that General Zuri spoke of, none of that would be possible without this organization and without the people. We belong to the people. All power to the people.
All power to the people.
All power to the people.
All power to the people.
So I want to thank the church as well. Thank this brother here, definitely. Give him a round of applause.
Yes.
And the reason why this is a big deal is because, you know, you may not believe it or not, but I'm not invited to a lot of churches. I'm not. And the reason I hear that I'm not is because we, as the original Black Panther Party, we really stand tall on self-defense and fighting back. Not to say that churches don't. The ones that do, I applaud them. The ones that don't, I applaud them. And I say that because we are being attacked in so many different ways. It takes so many ways to defend those attacks and to fight back. It's not just one way. It's not always just physical. It's not always just mental. It's not always just spiritual. So, with that said, I'd like to say, if you are looking for a watered-down black man, you called the wrong one. And if you like hearing fantasies instead of truth, you called the wrong one. We are in a chaotic and catastrophic time. One possibly worse than the 50s, but most of us don't even know it. The headline topic of today's event is, we got what they fought for, but lost what they had. Now, first hearing that, I interpreted that in a few different ways. What did we fight for? First question. I say integration, human rights, all things a product of civil rights. We fought for equality, freedom. I ask you, do you feel free? Do you feel equal? I'm asking. And this afternoon, evening, I'm going to ask questions. A lot of them might be rhetorical, but a lot of them are to build thought. So I'm going to ask you plenty of questions. So bear with me. I find that most of our black folks do feel free. Most are under the illusion, possibly a delusion, that we are free. If we are, then I'm completely crazy for fighting a daily fight. The NAACP and my organization has no use. We're free. What are we fighting for then? Maybe you would say isolated incidents, possibly. But if there's an injustice against one of us, there's an injustice against all of us.
Come on.
That's how it should be. So we can't have isolated incidents.
That's right.
I want to break some things down. I said we are under the illusion that we are free or got what we fought for. An illusion is a misperception resulting from a trick of the senses or something that is not as it appears. Well, can you see freedom? I see us still getting beat by the police in the streets. I see a lack of education. I see a lack of parenting. I see a village that has crumbled in comparison to the 50s and 60s. I see a people that fall into traps set by the government. I see black on black violence, not to be confused with black on black crime. So do you see freedom? I'm asking. Can you see it? Can you smell it? Taste it possibly? Because the food, as you know, as you should know, most of it's toxic. We went from slave food to soul food.
Come on.
Oh, y'all gonna get mad about that one, huh? Somebody gonna get mad. But I gotta tell you, we went from slave food to soul food. And the reason why I talk about this consistently is because we'll sit here and we'll listen to these doctors. And these doctors will tell us as black people, this is hereditary. This is going through our veins. This is just something we get, high blood pressure. They'll tell you that. And because they're doctors, we believe them. But this is not the case. The truth to that matter is, you're eating what your mother ate. And your mother is eating what her mother ate. So on and so forth. Therefore, yes, it becomes hereditary, but if you break the cycle, if you break these cycles, if you know better, you do better. When you know something is not good for you and you know certain things are bad for you, when you research these things that are bad for you, you do better. Therefore, you break the cycle, and therefore, you don't have high blood pressure. You don't have these things. You don't have these issues, these problems. Because you've studied and you've decided to break these chains and these cycles. We had to, back then in those times, survive. We can now thrive. We don't have to just survive. We can thrive with what we're doing. So therefore, we can make choices. We don't have to eat the master's leftover slop.
That's right.
We don't have to do that. We're choosing to do it. Whether it's because of we're not educated with the process, maybe we see someone in our family who's 101, 102, and we say, well, they still living. But that's one out of thousands. The rest are dying off as a whole. So we have to do better with breaking these cycles. I just put out a report about metal being in baby food. And yes, it's not a conspiracy. See, and I'm not saying you all, but a lot of our black folks will look and say, you know, that's just something General Mike Payne is talking about. It's probably a little conspiracy there. No, this was on the news, which we should never trust anyway, but it was on the news. Some people don't believe it till the white man said it, but it was on the news, okay? And the reason why I say this is because, if you don't know, we had in 1966, throughout the time of the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense, they had a breakfast program. And this breakfast program was stolen by the government and turned into what's now called WIC. Okay? They decided to make money and profit off of it. They used to go to the places where they had all the children, as you can see, and the children weren't eating properly in the morning, so they said this would be good to have the breakfast, so that way they could think better in school and things of that nature. So they would send the police to break in the windows and urinate on the food, or knock on the black people's doors and say, hey, they got poison food over there, to discourage people from the food programs. They'd even bomb the buildings, things of that nature. So then they take over the program. So anyway, with these baby foods, it's found that it happens to be the ones that are delivered to WIC, the ones that are going to low-income families, the ones that are in the neighborhoods that we would call redline back in the day, but now we just call it the hood. So we have to be careful, and we have to realize what's happening with us and with our people and what they're feeding us. Now, with that said, can you taste freedom? And I'm going to stay on that for just a moment. Do you hear freedom? I hear people still calling us the N-word. I hear us calling us the N-word.
Come on.
I hear the media victim shaming our victims, the radio spewing death and destruction on the airwaves. I hear the artists selling out, and the labels encouraging those actions. I hear the judge letting our abusers and attackers go. I hear the national anthem playing, and I hear the third verse that they never play.
Come on.
Does everybody know about that third verse?
Tell us.
Look it up. It's written by Francis Scott Key, a racist, and it talks about the harlot of the slave won't escape the grave. This is our so-called national anthem. And what bothers me is I see our black people popping to, putting their hat over their heart, saluting this anthem. They're saluting an anthem. They're trying to make our kids stand up for an anthem. I tell mine, you don't have to. But know why? You don't have to stand up for a country that's not going to stand up for you. Realize if they're not standing up for you, you don't have to stand up. You don't even have to take a knee. You can just do what you want to do. Now I'm respectful. I don't be all loud and disorderly or nothing like that. But know what you're doing. I ran into one brother who said, well, I stop and stand because, you know, for the veterans and the military. I'm a veteran. You ain't got to do that for me. You ain't got to do that for me. I don't want it. Look at the history and know why Brother Muhammad Ali dodged the draft. Know why the black people were put on that front line to catch all the bullets. Know where their freedom was offered to. Know who offered them freedom, which is why that national anthem was written and why those lyrics are in that national anthem. Because freedom was offered to black people, but it wasn't by America. Look it up. Okay? So I ask you, do you hear freedom? Do you feel free? Remember, an illusion is a misperception resulting from a trick of the senses. We just went through 5 of them. We just went through 5 senses. Now, because my senses tell me we are not yet free, as a whole, let's try delusion. That is defined as dangerously deceptive ideas. A dangerously deceptive idea. Now, this might fit more because whether the idea was planted in your head or you came up with it yourself, it's still inside you. And we have not been granted what we fought for. We have been tricked by an illusion, therefore making us delusional. Because we are not yet free. And I can prove it. They have readjusted slavery at least 3 times. But most of you wouldn't even know it. If you go from the slave times to black codes to Jim Crow, now we just have felonies, the penitentiary, and traps to make you have felonies and get to the penitentiary. And those penitentiaries don't get the same money unless they put bodies in those cells. And it says in the Constitution, slavery, yes, is illegal unless you are convicted of a felony. You understand? And we have all these young children here. You need to let them know there is a trap set up for them. And once they get these things on their record, once they get incarcerated, it's hard to get out. I get calls all the time. My loved one got 140 years, 70 years, nonviolent crime. You know how hard it is to get somebody out of the penitentiary after they're already in the system and in the penitentiary? There's things that go on behind those walls we will never know, that you'll never be privy to. Don't wait until you get in the position of servitude for free to then fight for these rights. Our children are being ripped off the street, trapped and incarcerated at alarming rates. Alarming rates. So we have to do something about that. Now, I want to say this again because I want to make sure you get this. Illusion is a trick of the senses. A trick of the senses and how we feel. So, let's look at the second portion of today's topic. We lost what we had when we integrated. We lost all our businesses, our companies, and trades. Yes, we went to more expensive schools, more establishments, and job opportunities opened up, but I won't say better. Because now your children are in danger. The schools water down our history and our leaders. They kick out or suspend our children in disproportionate rates. When this would never have happened if we would have kept our schools. If we had continued to farm and trade, we could control what was going in our bodies. Which leads to the previous thing I was talking about. We had our own forms of radio, entertainment. We controlled what we heard and listened to. We would have built up trust with one another. These are the things we need back. As black people, we are missing the bigger picture. We are not the same black folks from the 50s and 60s. I wish we were. When it comes to unity and camaraderie, see, I hear people say something like this all the time. They say, I'm not my ancestors. As if our ancestors was weak or something. No, it was a different time, but they weren't weak. By no means. We had plenty that fought back. So I'm from here. King Nat Turner.
Come on.
We have to realize these things. What you mean, I ain't my ancestors like you? Like you gonna take something and do something different? Let's go. The camaraderie was so much stronger. The Black Panther Party for self-defense back then was so much stronger. Everybody wanted to join. But because we suffer under the illusion that we're free, we feel like we ain't got to fight no more. So therefore, don't nobody join, don't nobody want to, it's a very select few. What they call it, that's what they say with the Marines, the few.
The few, the five.
Yeah, that's how we living now. So we still have to make things work with a small army. And I believe that to be possible because when I read about Brother Nat Turner, it said he had what? A group of 8 that he started with? A group of 8. So I put it to a test. I took a group of 8. I took a group of 8 and I stood up against the police. I took a group of 8 and I stood up against the KKK out there in D.C. Yeah. I started with a group, what was it, General Joe? 5. I started with 5. A group of 5. That's when we went to D.C. So we didn't even have 8. But we didn't care. We got the people. We pulled the people together and we stopped them from making that speech. It wasn't going to happen. You can do marvelous things with a small amount of people. That's right. So I need us to look at the bigger picture. We are blinded by distractions. I know you want to have fun. I know you want to enjoy yourself. But it is fun to be abused? No, it's not. It's not fun to be abused. It's not fun to be abused by your brothers, your sisters, by the police, by the government. It is not fun to live on the bottom because of your skin color here in America. While you set your phone up to complete another meaningless challenge or show how cute you are, maybe you want to shake your backside a little bit. Just for some likes. And I tell people, that's a new drug right now. That is the new heroin. That is the new heroin out on the streets right now. People will sell their mother out for some jokes. For a thumbs up, a blue thumbs up, they gonna sell their mama out. Oh, we become a different type of people. We believe we're free. We do. We believe we can just do what everybody else do and call it a day. We out here selling our folks out. We got politicians out here selling us out. We're not demanding accountability from them and for the vote that we put up. We're not doing any of that. We need to. So we have to be mindful of those things. But we have to see the big picture. And for those that are distracted, I want to talk to you just a second about COINTELPRO. Can I see a raise of hands for everybody that knows what COINTELPRO is? Okay, it's all right. That's all right. You're gonna know what it is today. COINTELPRO is a counterintelligence program. And everything I'm saying you can look up. Feel free to. It's a counterintelligence program, and it was ran by the FBI, headed by J. Edgar Hoover. You may have seen his name in a lot of movies, in a lot of our black movies during the civil rights time. And the job of J. Edgar Hoover and COINTELPRO was to expose, distract, misdirect, discredit, or even neutralize the activity of our black leaders and organizations. And even if a white leader were to help the black leaders, they would be discredited as well. And it happened because some of the people in Hollywood, I forget the lady's name, but she was a white lady that was helping out and trying to do good work and help black people out. And she was quickly jumped on by the FBI, just as all of our people were. All of our leaders. We made strides and build towns of success. They bombed them. We just came not far from Tulsa. We just left Tulsa not too long ago. And if you've ever been to Tulsa, they have this place called Greenwood Cultural Center. And under these buildings are the bones and bodies of our black people. Children, adults are under these buildings that they've erected. We had success in Tulsa. We shopped and bought with each other. They seen that as a threat, and they bombed the buildings. And it's not the only place they did it at. They did it in Philadelphia and a few other places. But my point is, it's always been over the same reason, most of the time. They say a white woman was raped or attacked or whatever. And that gives them reason to tear the whole city up. And when we went out there to Tulsa to help in these cases, in the rape case and things like that, they're still doing the same thing. The young brother Ricky Wright, when we say justice for Ricky Wright, that's what he snatched off the street from. How many people in here are close to 16, 17 years old? 16, 17? Yeah? That's how old he was when they started to snatch him up. Okay? We have to be careful out here. We have to be careful. All right? Also, moving on, I know we have some of our brothers and sisters that are involved in the gang life, gang organizations. And I'm going to mostly speak to our young folks on this. Yeah, I see what you doing. You playing on the phone? You being distracted? It's okay. It's okay. So, I know some of you guys have seen activity. I'm sure people in school have claimed to be in these organizations, different gangs and things like that. one thing I typically do is I do talk to some of the gang leaders, all right? And I've met with some of the gang leaders. And in doing so, the first thing they always tell me is, wow, yeah, you know, we used to be like y'all. We started like y'all. We protected the community. We, did this, that, and the third, and we did self-defense. We protected ourselves. Why do you think they always tell me that? Because I believe they feel convicted about what it's really about right now. Yeah, that may be how it started.
Right, exactly.
That may be how it started, but that's not what it is today. That's not where we're at today. And I tell them that. Now, you want to go shoot up something and point guns in different places and all that type of thing? Well, look, I got some places you can point a gun at. I got Zimmerman's out. I got some places you can point a gun at.
Speak that.
Just kidding, y'all.
No, you don't. That's a fact.
Disclaimer, just kidding. But my point is we don't need to be pointing the weapons at one another. We don't need to be shooting and hurting one another. They love that. Mm-hmm. They love to see us fighting and acting a fool. If you are a detriment to your community, and I tell those brothers, look, you guys are soldiers. Well, soldier up. Whether you want to join us, the NAACP, whether you want to go help a church group, do that. Whatever it is. But why are you going to continue to hurt your own folks?
Come on.
For your own personal pleasure.
Yeah.
And see, some of you don't understand what I say when I say personal pleasure. What I mean is self-preservation. I always speak about this. It's killing us as a people.
Yeah.
Self-preservation is killing us as a people because we tend to only look out for ourselves. We sell those drugs and poison and push that to our different people in the community because we want personal money. We want to pay our personal bills. But now you've destroyed everybody else. And then they have the nerve to go out there once a year and give out a turkey or something.
Come on, General. Come on, General.
How does that work out? Once a year you give out a turkey, feed a few folks, and you destroy them the other 364 days in a year.
Say that.
True.
These things don't make sense. So we have to talk to our brothers. And we have to be strong enough, young folks. We have to be strong enough, not physically, but mentally, to not fall for the peer pressure, to not let them entice you into saying your family ain't here, your family ain't there. And even if your family ain't there, that's not the family for you. If you look at the majority of them, look where they're going. Look where they end up. Look at the old ones. They've all ended up in jail. They've all ended up with felonies. It's the same thing in looking at somebody who's been stuck on drugs for years and years and years.
Yeah.
When you see that, why would you then want to do that drug? Because you see where it's taking you. You can see and visualize right there your future. Look in the prison system. That is your future. Look at that person strung out under a bridge. That is your future. If you decide to make those decisions. So we have to be mindful of what we're doing, where we're going, and how we're approaching others and the peer pressure that's coming towards us. We have to be careful. Okay? So, who is your enemy? Let's talk about it. Our oppressors are defined as our open enemy. Some might be amongst us today. We have some of our enemies from within. See, I want to see my brother and sister succeed. I want you to have what I have. I want to be able to get what you have. Some of us have that I got mine, you better get yours mentality. You got to break yourself to buy these little meaningless trinkets to show status. And you know what's funny about that? Half of it don't even look nice. You know, I'm just saying half of it don't even look nice. I mean, you know, I've seen what was the shoes that look like socks.
Balenciagas.
There we go. Thank you. Look, even with growing up, seeing people wearing the Jordans and the different things, some of them are nice. But a lot of our black people don't buy Jordans because they're nice looking shoes, because they feel great. They buy them because it's a status symbol.
Right.
We buy these expensive handbags because it's a status symbol. It's a status symbol. It's a statement. It says, I'm doing it. I've got money. When we have to look further, we have to look further as a people. We have to look and say, let's own this property. Let's own this home. Let's get this business. Get a bag and some shoes. Let's get this business. When you're spending money with your significant other, your loved one, your king or queen, yeah, it's nice to blow out for their birthday and all that, and do. But you guys could build empires together instead of having something that gets scuffed up, scratched up, and messed up within 5 months. Do the right thing with the money. Prioritize the money. When you normally see folks out there that's wealthy or rich, they don't dress like it. Look at Simon Cowell. He walk around in a ripped up looking t-shirt all the time. We have to prioritize our money. We have to do the right thing with our funds. This is extremely important. Yes, we can have nice things, and that's good, and get those things. But when you can put them in the right area of life. I know a brother right now that owns a Maserati, and he parks it in an apartment building. Somebody explain that to me. I don't know if y'all know what a Maserati is, but it's an expensive car, and he parks it in an apartment building. How backwards that look? See, he uses his car to go to the little club, pick up women and all these different things. They see it and say, oh. They say, wow, he got a Maserati. I don't know where he take him after that.
Stop playing with me in that Maserati.
I don't know where he take him. I don't know if they pull back up. He can't go home.
They hang out in the Maserati.
They must hang out in the Maserati. Because if they go in there, either she's a nut or, right, she got to be a nut. He talk about stick with me. I'm going to get there. But anyway, our mentality must grow, it must change, and fast. We are distracted and influenced by the wrong things. Now, I'm a fan of hip-hop. At one point, I participated in hip-hop. I did very well in hip-hop. I had a good time. I had a blast. A little too much fun. My brother said, here, I ain't gonna tell all my business. But for myself, hip-hop was going in a direction I wasn't willing to go. I was on tour doing a whole bunch of stuff. Even did a nice little film, and it sold out everywhere in Walmart. I was doing pretty good. I was enjoying the ride. But morally, there was a few things that didn't sit well with me. I was always taught, do not destroy your own community. That's one thing you don't do, destroy your own people. So, let me ask you a question. Do you right now think you could run an ad on the radio talking about killing puppies or children? No? I don't either. Even if you paid for it, could you run a 24/7 ad, maybe let's say for 30 days, talking about killing puppies or children? But 90% of our music that's on the radio is destructive to us. We talk about killing one another 24/7. How many of y'all knock his dreads off? Have y'all heard that? I don't want to point nobody out. But when I heard it on the radio, is that what he said? Knock his dreads off. Good gracious. want to see his mama cry. They want to see his mama cry and they want to knock the man's dreads off. Huh? Yeah. So, now we have our children following these messages. And I don't blame Rap Alone. The parents need to step up and raise these children. The parents need to step up, raise these children, be closer to them. Don't babysit them.
That's right.
We are parents. We don't babysit our children. Be close to them. They need guidance. They need teaching. They need talking to. They need love. They need hugs. They need you to search their room and find the pistol that they're hiding up under their bed.
Yes, sir.
These are the things the children need. Talk about, I need privacy. Close my door. Ain't no privacy. You don't pay a bill. You don't need no privacy. Right? You don't pay no bills in here. What do you need privacy for? No. Check the phones and everything. That's right. Check it all. Right. You got weirdos hitting them up on roadblocks and what's the other one? You know all of them. Yeah. A whole bunch of them. Weirdos hitting them up online. That's right. Check who they're talking to. Right. Yes. They get snatched up. I'm telling you, we have to educate our children. We got to educate our children differently, even about the police. But we have to do that because there are things that's out here set up to get our children. So we gotta stay more vigilant and steadfast on that. Our kids need us. That's right. Now, our music is the only music in the entire genre of music that is expected to have a real element to it. We don't hold rock, pop, country to these same standards. Jazz. Ours even has an age cutoff. And there's a reason for that. The young mind is easily influenced, and they keep it as a young man's sport so that they can't listen to the elders. Because you see, once people start getting older, they start talking different. Their lyrics change. They start rapping different. Now this is aggressive. Now they talking about art. Now they talking about Mozart and whatever else they're rapping about. I mean, yeah, we have our people, we do, but the balance is completely off. The stuff that we're playing in the radios while we're sitting in the car with our children, be mindful of. Yes. It is sinking into their mentality. Yes. You may not think so. You may not think they know what the people talking about, but they gonna find out. Mm-hmm. And the aggression in it is enough to send them off to do something crazy. It's aggressive. You don't hear nobody get ready to start doing no type of dirt. That's what they call it. They do some type of dirt listening to Anita Baker or SZA. Ain't nobody doing no dirt listening to that. No, they put on something aggressive. Some knock their dreads off music. Right? That's what they put on for that. So you got to realize, music, it gives you a mood. Just like there's certain stuff you want to listen when you wake up in the morning for Sunday. There's certain stuff you want to listen to when you are cleaning the house. There's certain stuff you listen to before you go to the club. All different type of music. So we have to be mindful of that and what that can do to our children and what it does to some of our grown folks. Be mindful of that. Do you really love each other? Y'all with me? Everybody with me? Y'all still with me? Okay, I want to make sure I ain't boring you. Make sure ain't nobody nodding off around here. But do you really love each other? Stop competing. Stop competing with your brother and your sister. Compete with yourself. Elevate yourself. You have plenty of competition out there. And it's in the rigged American dream. You don't need to compete with your brother and sister. Let me ask you, do you see the Asian community doing that? I bet you don't. Oh, they help each other out very well. The Mexican brothers and sisters, same thing. I'm telling you, if one of our Mexican brothers and sisters gets fired, all of them walk off the job. All of them. Where you going? They grab their stuff. Everybody leave. That man ain't do no more work. Why don't we? What are we scared to lose? While we sit and talk about, I ain't my ancestor, but you're scared to lose that job. You're scared to lose them coins. We've got NFL players. Just imagine this. Imagine if NFL players right now, all the black ones, just decided to say, because of the Cowboy situation, hey, we're on strike. Yeah. All the rich, we're on strike. We're not playing. Every black NFL player. What if that happened? There you go. He hold up a cowboy hat. Look at it. Burn it now. But I'm saying, where would we be as a people if we decided to band together like that? When Kaepernick was going through his situation, every black person should have walked off the field. They should have walked off to the back. I'm not coming back. And what are you going to do about it? Is what they should have said. But because of self-preservation, they decided, oh, no, I need my money. You can fight that fight. I support you. Go over here. When do we become that type of people? When? When did we get so hurt that we can't band together? That we can't stay together? When they even said, hey, stop watching football on Sunday. We couldn't even do that. We couldn't even stop watching the TV. We got some work to do. We got some work to do as a people. And I don't just blame our people. I do also blame some of our newfound leaders. I blame them. And the reason why I blame them is because they're out here conniving and tricking and shaking and deceiving. That hurts my heart the most. To me, they're worse than the Klan or somebody. Because you deceive your own people for finance. And therefore, our people don't know who to trust. You can look, and you can usually tell who's doing what. Just got to look close. That's all. Just look a little close. I know our young folks, when we came in here, I saw their face. They was like, what is this going on? When we walk past, some of our grown folks look the same way. They run in and close the door. I said, no, we never gonna love Allen Marty High. We coming to help out. That's it. They ain't got to worry about us. But you need to know, when you see this logo, turn around, brother, also. When you see, so they can see it bigger. When you see this logo, we are here to protect you. We don't get paid to do this. We don't get no salary. We ain't sponsored by the government. That'd be kind of weird. You know, we don't do that. We do it ourselves. We dedicate this time, this effort, ourselves. We give back ourselves out of what we put together. We created that. And we supply that. We stand up against police. For y'all. For free. We jump in front of bullets. For free. Because we love our people.
Yes, we do.
I said again, we love our people.
Yes, we love our people.
We love our people.
We love our people.
That's right. So when you see some of these folks that's out here claiming to, I don't know, do whatever they do. I call some on Facebook revolutionaries because you only see them on Facebook. They be on Facebook talking about it. Why don't you do this? Why doesn't it Kaepernick, Kyrie Irving? They all got something to say. What are you doing about it? Where is your action? It takes action. We need to be mobile. We need to be out here. And everybody, I'm not saying everybody has to do what the original Black Panther Party does or the NAACP does. But in some way, form, or fashion, you should be fighting for the black agenda.
Yes.
Hear me out. In some way, form, or fashion, you should be fighting for the black agenda. And I'm talking, to to everybody. I'm not leaving anybody out, you know. We all have to have these hard conversations. See, back to the competition. We're saying we don't compete with one another, but we enhance one another. Did you teach your brother or sister how to own what you own? Did you teach your brother and sister how to love the way you love? What have you built? Do you teach your brother and sister how to build it? Don't just do it and sit back. Give that knowledge. Where are our elders? Give that knowledge back to the people. Our young people need it. And sometimes our young folks smart and they can help their elders.
That's right.
Young people, don't be scared to tell an older person with respect. I don't want you getting hit or nothing. But don't be scared to tell some older folks some stuff, especially about technology. Y'all know some stuff that they may not know. Something you know may help their business grow.
Yes, yes.
And parents, we have to at least listen to our young people. We got young people walking around here depressed, hurting, crying out for help, but they don't know who to talk to. Sometimes we're so hard on them, they don't want to come to us. They don't want to talk to us. Next thing you know, he's sitting somewhere and blew his top off. I know this because we go through it and we see it. See, we get to see all the ills that happen in the communities. We get to see all that bad stuff and we have to internalize it. And yes, it gets hard for us because we continuously have to see it, constantly. And it happens a lot. Our kids are hurting. Our young people hurt. So we have to hug them and show them love and talk to them and listen to them. We can no longer walk around scared, minding our own business. I know. I hear it a lot. That's the neighbors. That ain't none of my business. Right? That's what we say, that ain't none of my business. That's what they doing. No. You say it takes a village, but you don't even have the heart to tell that young man at 7-Eleven to act right. Or pull his pants up. He got his whole butt out, and we sitting there with your little daughter or your young boy, and this is the male figure standing here with his whole back out. We gotta talk to him. I know sometimes it might look dangerous and scary or whatever the case may be, but we need to tell him, hey brother, pull him up. Come on, what we doing? What we doing? And half the time their drawers don't even be clean.
Stop playing with me. Oh my.
We have to build with one another. That doesn't mean leave here today feeling you showed up, heard a message, so you did your part. You shouldn't leave here without at least 5 phone numbers of somebody you don't know. We need to network and work together. And I'm not leaving anybody out. I speak to my black people because I represent us. And before we can work outside the home, inside the home must be solid.
Amen.
In this building alone, we may be okay. We may be all in the right mindset to where we can start working with other people. But I want you to do this. Do me a favor today. Ask your white brothers and sisters a question, okay? And this is a real question. Ask your white brothers and sisters a question. Ask them if they would like to trade places with how you are treated in America. Just a question. They shouldn't be offended. Ask them that question. If they would like to trade places with you and how you are treated here in America. If they are honest, they wouldn't do it. So your next question should be, well, if you know my people struggle, then why aren't you helping me? If you know my people are hurting, then why aren't you doing anything about it? After all, it's only one race, right? The human race. Right? It's one race, it's the human race. So if that's the case, why aren't you helping us, and why are you allowing us to be treated this way? If we are truly to build and educate, improve and grow, we must unite as black people by our skin. Now look, when I say that, I mean our light skin, our dark skin, our super dark, our super light. What was the rule? One drop of black blood, you were black. That was the rule. We didn't make it. One drop of black blood, you are black. So we need to band together by the skin. We must engage in tough conversations with each other. Now I hear it a lot. We all need to buy land or work through ownership. Look, I'm not here today to tell you the same old rhetoric. I'm not. Okay? We're always talking about buying land. We've been talking about buying land for decades. How many black people do you know that could just buy enough land to cultivate and to build on? How many do you know? How many do you even know that's going to get together, 10, 20, put the money together and trust each other to the point where the money ain't going to become missing? How many do you know? Let's just be honest and real about it. I hear it all the time. We need to buy land. Yeah. I hear it. But it's not going to happen. Nobody has that financial backing. And when we put enough together, and we can do it, great. I'm not opposed to the idea, but how long have we been kicking around the same idea with groups of people that ain't gonna do it? So we can't just complain, we have to come up with solutions. So through ownership, build true individual companies. Through ownership, build true individual companies. Shop with one another. The village is important. And this is how we'll grow in our own community. We need to have children raised in this community with these same ideas. We need to be able to leave our children something. We need to start our own generational wealth. Now, you know they don't really want to give you business loans. 9 times out of 10, they don't. You get denied. But you can get them through other ways, such as home ownership. You may have to go through other hardships, putting the house up and, different things like that. But you can get these businesses. There's more than one way to skin a cat. You understand me? And if each individual person in here owned their own business or some type of business, whatever it is, whether it's a corner store, whether it's I don't know, whether you go get a 7-Eleven or whatever, you may not fully own that, but it's still, under your command. And with the mindset of working and bartering and helping out each other in your community. See, this is where we get back to what we had. Because now we can build and continue to build what we had. And now you don't have to worry about trusting your brother and sister like that. You ain't got to worry about it because you own your own business, they own their own business. All y'all doing is working together. You understand? Then you ain't got to worry about the crooks and the crooked folks and everybody like that. You ain't got to worry about that. Because we can buy our own stuff. We can do for ourselves. And we can build that community. At this point, we have to have this because right now, when I said we need to have our children raised in these communities, I said that for a reason. We should be looking for good husbands and wives for our children. Yeah, y'all look at me crazy when I say that. Right. Y'all look at me crazy, don't you? We need to be looking for husbands and wives for our children. And what I don't mean by arranged marriage or anything like that, but when I see When I see a queen out there or a king out there and they got a nice son, because I got a daughter, you know, and I say, man, his mindset is good. That young man is being raised up right. So I'm going to go to that man and say, hey, look, my daughter and your son need to play. They need to play more. They need to be raised up together. They need to hang out a little bit.
That's right.
You know? Because right now what we're being left with, I don't want my kid dating nobody that's just constantly in the street, constantly hurting the community, constantly hurting themselves, ending up in jail, and then you want you got to raising your daughter up to be a real chick. She got to stand by him while he got his rusty butt up in jail.
Come on, General
I
Mike.
ain't doing that. I ain't doing that.
Keeping it real.
We don't want to have our sons sitting there, they out here playing the women, doing them bad, tricking off on them, talking bad about them, ain't being no type of man, can't fix nothing, can't do nothing in the house, he want food though. Oh, she better know, you know how to cook? Well, he don't know how to do that either. So when I see that young man, or that other brother in the neighborhood, and I say, man, you teaching this son right. Well, that's attractive to me. Hey, look, they need to play. They need to play. And we need to start doing it. Stop thinking we are free. Look at the other ethnic groups I hear black folks making fun of sometimes, where they help living together and they're doing all this other different stuff and whatever. Oh, you got arranged marriages, you got this and learn from it. Because one thing that they are doing is they are keeping their people together. They are keeping the mindset together, and they are holding themselves accountable. And we got to do the same thing. So, when I say unify by skin, no more division by religion, color, class, or gender. We as a people must talk to one another, build with one another. Why do you care if that man's a Muslim, if that man's a Christian, or if he's a Protestant, or he's a Catholic? Why do you care? Y'all love God. Y'all pray to a higher power. You're both oppressed by the same system. Your children will be undereducated or held back in some part due to their skin. So why not use our skin as our bond for what we need? We keep separating ourselves. Stop separating yourself. For what? This person's a Hebrew. This person's a this. This person's a that. I don't believe what he believes. We ain't got to agree on everything. But we do need to agree on one thing. We're black.
Right.
With your children, why do you not prepare them? Some of y'all talking about, I don't want my child to see color. I've heard it. Yeah. I don't want my child to see color. Let me tell you. The judge sees color.
Well.
The media sees color. That business loan sees color. That application sees color. Those police officers see color. That home loan sees color. The penitentiary is packed with your color. The flag has red, white, and blue, and it's not represented your color.
That's right.
You're not represented in those colors. So please, get the RBG flag, red, black, and green. That is us. That is us. I got one hanging outside my house. I dare somebody to say something about it. That's our flag. That's all we got. We've been stripped of our identity. We've been stripped of our last names, who we are. And when you get a people that have had everything taken away from them, they start searching for identities. So then you see our black people joining all these different groups and organizations. Then we separate. And then they're happy. Because while we're sitting here arguing about where we're going to go when we die, and whose God is, I don't know, better or worse, or whose truth is better or worse, we are steady getting our heads kicked in and our backs broken. So it comes a time, and I ask everyone, I ask you today, to make an obligation, to get in the fight in some way, somehow, some shape or form. I want to quote, and I'll be wrapping up. When a person places the proper value on freedom, there is nothing under the sun that he will not do to acquire that freedom. Whenever you hear a man saying he wants freedom, but in the next breath, he is going to tell you what he won't do to get it, or what he doesn't believe in doing in order to get it. He doesn't believe in freedom. A man who believes in freedom will do anything under the sun to acquire or preserve his freedom. Malcolm X. So I propose to everyone, you don't have to do what we do. You don't have to do even what the NAACP does. But I propose the idea that you all get into the fight. We have a program right now, I know it's way out in Hampton, a children's program where we teach the children self-defense. We teach them how to get home safe. We teach them, even if you want them with the parents' permission, if they find a weapon, how to secure that weapon and how not to pick it up or what to do with it if they happen to come across it. So that they're not accidentally making mistakes or shot or anything like that. We teach the kids all that. We teach them about Shaka Zulu. We teach them about before slavery. We don't start our history with slavery like the school does. We don't water down our history. We don't tell the fake story of Emmett Till. We tell the real story of Emmett Till. These are the things we have to do, and we educate our people in the streets. We're out there every day in the streets. We can't wait for them to come into our establishments and our buildings in order to help them. Most people that come into the buildings and things like that, they're already knowing they either need help or they're here because they're like-minded already. The people that are hurting are out there. And we see them all the time. And we go out there and we help those people. And I ask you to do your due diligence in helping our people because we are hurting. Sign up. Give me your name. Give me your number. We will find something for you to do. You don't have to be totally a part of us. We have a program to where you can be with us. But you don't have to do anything. We got a program. We need you. I'm getting calls to go to Tulsa, Ohio, Kentucky, all over the place. We finance these trips ourselves. So absolutely it's hard. Long drive too. So I just want to ask all of our black people to get in the fight. Work with these children. And if you can't, get with our program. We'll work with them. We'll do what we can for them. They're the future. They're going to take care of you at some point in time. They're going to be making the decisions. They're going to be the politicians. And we got to teach them when they do get there not to sell us out. We can't continue the same cycle. Thank you. All power to the people.
All power to the people.
All power to the people.
All power